my mission and my aim is to help my colleagues, the doctors who are burning out, and provide some of the lessons that I learned and had been learning. Want to share with them how to really not to get to the point of burning out. If you are, how to get out of it and how to stay out of it. That's what I wanted to focus on. And I was making a lot of videos in this respect. So I'm going to present them to you too. I have posted that video in my clubhouse house, Docs and Burnout, and then that will be available on the YouTube also. But basically, we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about on the burnout of doctors, why I took this up as a mission. I believe doctors are burning out at a rate that is really alarming, concerning, and not only for the doctors but also for the patients, patient care, patient wellness. All those things are important to me. So I'm kind of focusing on that topic, so all these uh, life experience that we all have, they will have validity when we really share the experiences and also learn the lessons from them and implement them in our life, right? So hopefully more people will be sent invitations and more people will attend. I'll be on that mission of sending to some doctors, some healthcare policy experts, like that. We're going to search for them and then send invitations and make them attend these sessions so that we'll have more input from different expertise, right? For now, I will tell you what my experience is and how I have come to this. As you know, I'm Rahul Kolisu. I'm an internal medicine doctor, and also I'm hi Susie, welcome. And so this is yeah, this is more like a hi Susie, how are you?
Hello, Dr. Rao. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have started this new series, Susie, on burnout of doctors because this is so important and the problem is getting worse. And I happen to work on this since 1985, even though the burnout of doctors was not there. It's more like a stressed out, we used to call them, right? So I was going to do that. I made some 70 short videos, but each one with one pain point for a 30 days. This is a content matrix given to me by Rocky, one of my friends. She's big on internet and all that. But I'm fashioning all this learning that we will go through for my doctors and my healthcare friends that I'm doing this. So this will be a continuing series for a while, for several months maybe, on different aspects of burnout with the sole intention of giving some tools to deal with this. Okay. So my story is I'm an internal medicine doctor and I'm also an informatician having some big data knowledge and EMR and high tech thing, right? And also I'm an ancient wisdom which guides me with a lot of wisdom for the inner being. It's not about any religion. It's about life skills that they have propelled a long time ago. So that's why I'm bringing all these things together to develop some good habits for the doctors for the self care and also really understand a lot of things about our mind and how to not to be victim of that, kind of stay in the present, kind of have the energy to do what we need to do rather than allowing our mind to go to the past or the future unnecessarily. So that kind of thing I was dealing with. I started out talking about heavy workloads that doctors have and how to deal with the heavy workloads. And then next day I talked about how to prioritize our tasks. All the videos are there in my house. They can see them too. I will post them on the pinning also. they can look at them too. I'm just beginning to do these things. Before I was just coming to the rooms and then talk about and then give my bait, whatever I feel, and then I used to go away. But now I'm planning all this a systematic manner so that people can see all the videos and everything too. Today I'm going to pin that link that I was going to talk about today, how to balance both things, right? Um, so I don't know why it is not pasting in that pinned link, but it is in the house link. What do you think about this concentration on burnout, Susie? Do you think it's worth it?
I think it's the utmost important
Yeah,
to face the burnout of health and care professionals. I think doctors are at the cornerstone of this.
yeah,
And I think that taking a my word a holistic approach to that,
mm,
where the mind and the techniques and the daily tips,
yeah,
but also using technology to support your daily work, but actually also supporting your mental health
yeah,
is of the utmost importance. And let me give you one example. A very dear friend of mine is a doctor,
mm,
and she telephoned me yesterday on her work, driving home from work, and she said, "Well, at the hospital, a constant frustration that aggravates and really drains out all energy of all of us is that we have so many IT systems, and whenever we try to log into them, not to do our work, but just logging in, that process of logging in takes so long time. It's just a complete nuisance every day, every hour to our workflow. So you cannot reach the sort of the flow of your workday because you're all the time interrupted by IT. So I think that you're looking at the whole topic. I think is very very relevant. Yes.
yeah. That's an important point, Susie, because you know how I solved that single sign-on. We got it into our system, and also I was spending a lot of time on the EMR, whichever hospital I go to, because I'm hospitalist, right? So I can go to different hospitals as I choose the systems. I go to different EMR systems to contribute not only as a doctor but also as an informatician. That was my thing, right? Then the new EMR system, I used to focus on a very systematic manner. I don't want to learn everything, but I only want to learn what I need to do for the day, like a admission, like a discharge, like a progress, and all that. So then I teach the system to other people too. I usually develop a desktop for myself so that I can have everything organized on my desktop. So I spend so much time in the first few months on the system. Later on, I'm liberated from it. That's one of the techniques I kind of teach in my burnout course, how to embrace the new technology and make it an ally. Don't fight it, don't go against it, because it can help you light it, anything. Usually my rounds are done by 9:30 in the morning, including the documentation, first round, right? And people are kind of surprised, how do you do that? Because how I arrange my desktop, how I deal with each patient's data, and how I arrange it to help me report directly. Like a report is there, I don't have to go to the radiology like before. Now I can have it on the desktop, and also I use some program like Asana or something that will warn me that my report is ready for me to view and all. I don't need anybody to call me anything. I just follow all my investigations, everything. So there is a way to make the high technology our ally and not being overwhelmed by it. Make sense, Susie, what I said?
Yes, I think it's very much a question of seeing the technology as an ally. And also, I think in your clubhouse, we had had many conversations where you have been part of them,
Yeah,
Dr. Rao,
yeah,
where we talked about the IT systems are developed by IT people
yeah,
who are IT savvy,
yeah,
and they don't realize what a havoc they're creating in the daily operations
yeah.
of the healthcare staff.
That's true because they were related by computer engineers, computer scientists, and all that. But then doctors and nurses, they think differently. So to understand the gap is very important. Otherwise, they want to follow a mathematical model, maybe a straightforward model, but we want to follow a holistic model where the patient is taken in all aspects. So that's the kind of difficult to understand, but we understand it will be okay. I was involved in this program of computer and physician interaction and what my use are. So in the hymns, we had a national group where we participated in this. I was very interested in that. I was instrumental in the group also. What we came across was when the patient is seen, if you are working with your computer, he feels he's left out, so my solution was, how can we make patient also get involved in the care that is being done while documenting? Also we are doing that, right? So he can see what we are doing, what is happening, then he will be participate much better. So his vitals, his numbers, what is relevant to him, he will see in a graphical manner. That way the computer is not in between my patient and me, but actually helping the patient to understand better about the care that is given to him. We can talk about it, but as a visual, when I showed them on the iPad, this is what is happening to your creatinine with the numbers graphically, he grasped it very easily because it's a picture, right? So that kind of techniques I teach for the physicians who are burning out because of the EMR documentation and all that, how to make it friendly and easy and usable. And in the long run, it saves a lot more money, a lot more time, and a lot more energy.
Yes. And I think there's some wonderful innovations going on in that field.
Yeah.
I actually just a majority in many Danish startup competitions, startup or scale up.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was actually I have just I'm just checking social media right now, and I can say now that it's official that a Danish startup who's making a device that can make I like the right medical words, but when you take a needle, pull out some substance, and mix it together with another substance to create the joint medicine that you give to a patient. What do you call that in sort of doctor terms?
Biopsy?
You mix the substances that are going to be the final product that you inject in a patient.
Yeah, that's the drug, right? Basically.
So the drug mixing,
Yeah.
that whole process, they actually taking it into instead of 7 steps, they take it into 2 steps with a newly patented device, and they hope to bring that to more market within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But that will save time in daily operations, and
Absolutely.
I'm very thrilled that the rest of the jury members who are not in the health and care field, they let me persuade them to agree. This is actually a huge innovation because it would just help every doctor every day to not get burnout.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Those kind of things we should really be aware of and also implement them and take advantage of them so that we will rid of the normal functions that we have to do. They can be accelerated by the technology, and of course, we have to monitor them initially. But once we trust them, and we can allow actually, doctors have a lot of technology. So documentation is a problem because they think one way and the documentation comes one way, but these days we can do the dragon dictation, we can do a lot of things into the EMR using other technologies that makes it much easier. You are absolutely right, Susie. That kind of innovation really helps us a lot, no doubt about it.
If we allow it to.
Yeah. I know that.
Very often the doctors are so nervous about change because change
Yeah.
means that they'll do something that's not a routine. If it's not a routine, they can make mistake until it becomes a routine.
Yeah, very good. Because this is what I said in 2008 when we started our EMRs. Our doctors are very reluctant, but I was very aggressive on that. I was leading the EMR team and all that. I kind of conducted some preliminary meetings for them before the installation. The first sentence I said was, change is the only permanent thing because it is always. Yes. And then I showed them a slide on showing stethoscope. What was the comment at the time? They were saying this is going to ruin our medicine as we are practicing and all that. But when I showed that this is what they were saying about the stethoscope, everybody was kind of enlightened. Like, yeah, if they said something like stethoscope at that time, so the EMR also the same thing. But it is a question of really learning in increments. We should not dump everything on them right away and cultivate habits that are small scale, and then slowly they will be able to be absorbed. So initially there is some denial, but then once they started to do that, they are comfortable, they become more comfortable. So I created something very important for that hospital at the time, was a 365 days library of not only over the shoulder support and also the visual cards. Several things we made there available. Whichever way you want to learn, it is there. The most popular was we put somebody over your shoulder as you are doing. We kind of allowed all the steps to go through, so you can practice them at your own convenient time. There was a leading cardiologist. He was the biggest money maker in town with the money, but he was felt insulted being taught by a nurse. So I took him to the back and put him on the computer, gave him this video, and let him do it. And within a couple of days, he mastered the essentials, and then he was very confident to receive more. So that kind of varied types of learning we created helped the physicians at the time. But nowadays, people are very comfortable with a lot of things. They can go through all the, but then still the learning remains like a slow doses, very small doses, repetition. If you do the same thing again and again, then it won't become such a painful thing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. It's very much a question of, I mean, if people are very stressed out, and the
Yeah.
problem is that everybody's stressed out,
Yeah.
so they're so busy running around that they don't have the time to stop running around.
Yeah. Shall I? Can I share with you what I do personally for the stress?
Yes, yes, please.
Very, very simple. In the morning, when I wake up, I don't open the devices. Okay. So I just keep them up at least for 15 to 30 minutes, usually 30 minutes or so. Then during the 30 minutes, I kind of get myself to the present, to be aware of what is going on around me, to the weather, to the pets, to the life, human beings, and all that. I kind of put myself in the present mode. That I carry through the day like a perfume, so that I won't be carried away too much of the back or too much of the front. And then when I go to the patients, usually in the clinic there will be from 9 to 11, 11:30, like a 10, 12 patients will be scheduled. So what I do is I go, a patient is prepared for me because of the staff does that, and I go there. I completely concentrate on that one patient. That's it. I don't bother about what is coming back or what is going, nothing, just that patient. Give him complete attention, listen to him, and then to explain to me what's going on, and then plan everything, and then go to the next patient, same thing. Again, come to the present. So that's what I practice, being in the present through the day, attentive through the day. Then at the end of the day, I kind of lie down in the bed before I go to bed, and then I review all that happened during the day and then dump it. Important things, I put it on the device or something. Rest of the simple things, I just eliminate and then sleep on a really empty mind as much as possible. And that revives me when I get up in the morning, again the same routine. So the think it's kind of attention to the inner mind and thoughts, and really important. Apart from the nutrition, exercise, and also the sleep, they are important. Nutrition, obviously I eat only when I'm hungry, but I do eat well, right? Good nutrition food. Exercise, if I do in the morning, that's good. I do it with my wellness club. I do it with the students. But then during the hospital, I walk as much as possible. I take stays. I walk on the corridors, and also I do what's called a sitting office yoga, just for a few minutes. If I'm sitting in front of the computer doing the EMR work, I take a chance to do 2 to 5 minutes of yoga. That relieves all the tension I built up that far. So this is essentially what I do every day.
Nice. I think I have a term that what you tell me reminds me of that, and it's not the same, but it's similar, and it's that I put things into soap bubbles. It's transparent, but it's isolated.
Yeah.
And I say now I have looked at this topic.
Yeah.
It can be I'm traveling on holiday next week, and I
Yeah.
say, okay, do I want to handle it right now?
Mm.
No. Do I want to handle it like in today? Is
Yeah.
the things I have to do?
Yeah.
Okay, I put that in my calendar and I put a reminder on what time I should think about it. And am I now ready to put it in the bubble?
Yeah.
Yes, I am. And I put it in the bubble. It's still there, but doesn't bug me anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Your compartmentalization, like that, is useful for a lot of people. I will tell you an extension of this. What it is I stay in what is called meditative awareness. That means I'm always in the meditative awareness, not really needing a episodic meditation time. I don't have to meditate because I don't allow the mind to go in its own movement whenever it wants to, but it stays stable and stays in the task what I'm doing and don't allow extraneous thoughts come into it. So that gives a flow state, whatever you do. when
Interesting.
when you are in flow state, then you don't have these wandering thoughts or remnant thoughts or any of the ingrained thoughts staying in your subconscious, none of it. Then when you are in the awareness, you use thought to do things, but don't get immersed in the thought in the sense of what happened yesterday, regret, or what is going to happen tomorrow, like anxiety. Those will not be there. In the long run, they are very healthy because you don't have the movement of thought. Along with it, no molecular changes of hormones or receptors. All those things are not there. So in essence, you are very healthy when you keep your mind in balance, in flow, and not really going outside what you're doing.
Mm. Yeah.
That's a skill. It doesn't happen right away. It happens after deep study of what is mind, what is
Yes.
meditation, when you need meditation and all. Anyway, I don't have to teach all these things to people because when I display this in the flow state, when I'm doing a code or when I'm doing a crisis meeting with a patient, or all those things, they come through and people get really inspired by how come you can be so cool in that situation. Then I tell them this is what I do. So the mind, it stays in its tracks and not taking over me. So it's like a putting awareness in front of your thought,
Yes.
if that makes
I,
sense.
I think what's also a key to the best processes is when you and I think I'm just using other words to describe what you just said. I'm just really reflecting now. But it is that you have your one eye on the big picture
Yeah,
and the other eye on the present.
yeah, that's it.
So at all times you connect to like when we talk about spiritual or religious, you say you connect to a higher purpose,
Yeah.
and that's not exactly what I mean. But
Mm.
it's just like you have an idea, like I have had a vision about
Yeah,
the changes happening in the health and care system,
yeah,
including doctors burnout
yeah,
for almost 10 years now.
yes,
And that vision, it stays with me. So people sometimes say to me, but you talk about so many different topics in health and care,
yeah,
and sometimes about sustainable
yeah,
society, circular economy, stuff like this. So how can you spread over so much? And I just look at them and say, well, I'm not really spreading myself out thin because all the time I have the connection to our society is in a time of massive change, just like when the industrial revolution happened.
yeah,
And when when you have that as your big idea, then everything flows together. And I find that extremely interesting, Dr. Rao, to
yeah,
try and make all the big changes sort of merging in with each other.
yeah. Chris,
And I,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Susie, let me tell you, we have the vision. For the vision, you can have brainstorm. You can go through the massive change like we are going through. I think this is the biggest change that we are going through as a humanity. The AI. That's why I take a lot of interest in that. I'm embraced it. I'm kind of headlong into it, not with the intention of making a lot of money. That was never my intention, but to understand how this can change our welfare or how can also affect our problems and all that too. After the vision, after the brainstorming, then when you actually come to implement the steps of your vision, then you are completely focused on it. That's what you are saying too. You are connected with the bigger picture, then you are doing it, you are doing that. But the bigger picture never goes away from you because you have that already thought out, and you can make amendments as you go along. But it was there guiding you as to where you are going in the life. Say, I have four things I do. So what is the, how
And
can I?
tomorrow,
Yeah.
on Monday, you have to come to our networking room because we are doing 60 minutes of having dialogues and finding out to have meaningful dialogues, constructive
Sure.
problem solving dialogues with AI,
Yeah.
like real life workshop test doing it. You're
Yeah.
gonna love it. We did it
Yeah.
last Monday,
Yeah.
and it went a little bit crazy, and it's probably going to do that for every Monday of July.
What
And I would
what
love for you to be in that conversation.
what time is that, Susie?
Well, it's okay. It's 9 o'clock in the at night in Denmark, and that would be about 6 hours later than now.
Uh-huh.
5.5 hours later than now every Monday.
Okay, okay, that's fine. I'll try. I'll look it up because as the world clock, I can look it up, and I have somebody in the Denmark too that I contact with me, so I know the time there. I think it's around in the afternoon probably. For us, that's no problem. I'll be there because in the morning sometimes I have some consultations on. Monday morning, 9 o'clock, I have a consultation. But I know, just ping me. I will definitely be there, usually ahead of time if I have the time. No problem. But I was telling you the four things I keep in mind is my aim is how can I contribute to wellness oriented health systems. No problem with using technology and all that, but we have to maintain the wellness perspective rather than responding only when the illness is there. We do that anyway, but promote the wellness by attending to my really important is diet and all those things, right? And the other thing is how can I enhance human being through my understanding of healthcare systems from the ancient to the modern? That is second thing. And third thing is how can I help to contribute to the planet health, because that's a very imperative thing for us. And then finally, how can we help people realize who they are? That is a self realization, which I think really gives us real happiness, peace, and all that, which is the case with me. I don't do anything. I can just stay by myself. I'm very happy with that way. But I come out and help the world because that is what I'm compelled to do too. So those are the four visions I have. But then whatever I do on a daily basis is kind of reflection of them. But then I'm connected with that bigger vision, and whatever I do falls into that. Even the doctor's one result is part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Chris, how are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing great. I'm here listening to you all
Yeah,
about the health. I know, do we have a health? It's a sickness.
yeah,
I don't know if we have a health. Really, it's a sickness society, a sickness group.
yeah,
Really, I want to be the change to make change. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm not a nurse. But I feel I can make an impact with my finances and my intelligence on health of people getting in, like you're sharing, getting people to understand who they are and
yeah,
getting them to believe in themselves. 95% of the world, have a poor self-image.
yeah,
They don't really believe that they can do or move or do anything.
yeah,
So we have to get people to believe in themselves and believe that they can conquer anything. Because if a guy with no arms and no legs could swim and start a business, Kyle Maynard, I met a guy down in Georgia about 18 years ago, was born with no arms, no legs. Today, he is an entrepreneur. He owns his own business. He was a wrestler at the University of Georgia on the wrestling team. When I met him, but he overcame all that with no arms and no legs.
yeah,
So that shows that we can do anything, but we have to get the right information.
yeah,
And most of us are not getting the right information to win in life.
yeah.
Because you can teach me how to play golf, but if my swing is not properly, I can hurt my wrist.
That's true. You know what it is? In yoga, there is what is called self will that is inside of us. That self will, we can mold it to be our greatest friend or greatest enemy. to teach that, to have that control where we can turn our life towards the positive, is the positive yoga. That's what is taught by body is only simple thing, and then they go deep into ourselves and talk about the mind, its structure, its operations, and how ultimately we are responsible for the self will, and then we can direct it towards what we want to do, and to give you that resilience inside to make it positive and go towards it is the aim of yoga. Understanding that is very important too. A lot of people think just doing some postures is yoga. It's not. It is actually the body is ready for this internal investigation, so that your body is healthy, and the healthiness helps the concentration. Now if you are ill and you are having some pain, you cannot really sit down and concentrate. So that is the aim of physical yoga. And then the energy yoga is the breathing, and then the real yoga is the mental thing comes, where mental faculty is also seen as our property, not our master. Once you understand that, then you can use the thought, emotions, everything positively, not in a reactive way, but more like a respond them with them to the tasks of our life, any duties or anything that you want to do, where you bring in that self will with a resolute one pointedness, and you are in flow state, and you can achieve whatever you want in that yogic state where you are mixed with the universal energy, your energy. That is real yoga. That is real combination. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris, about being. That is actually you are important in the sense. Ultimately, each individual is to be taking responsibility for their health, not only just taking care of themselves, but understanding and seeing where the system is going, and then being informed uh, consumer. Then you will be able to use the services better. A lot of my energy goes into my patients of to how to help them navigate the health system, how to understand it, where are the weaknesses are, where you can question them and get the best out of it. Nowadays, it's much better with all the consumer health informatics, personalized medicine, patient advocacy, all those things have become now. But when I really started this kind of thing with my own practice, where we wanted attend to the roots of the disease, not just the disease process, which they teach us in a medical field about disease process, but they don't teach us how to go about disease roots. And that is where individual person like you, Chris, you are a representative of you go into the deep into the causes of your diet, exercise, and all that, and you are doing it responsibly. Then you become an example to everybody else. So I'm very proud of you, and I'm also happy to know you that way. So
And you see, in America here, when people have, I think the issue is when people have insurance, they think they have great insurance. They think that if I can eat or do whatever I want because the doctor will take care of it. That's how they think mentally because they work for a company and it has insurance that I can eat, consume anything I want. If I get broke down, my doctor would take care of it.
and then
That's their thinking.
yeah, and then the insurance company ration the care. They are not allowing the doctors to do what is right for the patient because it's expensive for them. So that bean counter, that commodity mentality has come from the insurance companies, and the patients are denied care because they don't know the insurance companies are putting pressure on the doctors. But actually doctors are demoralized because they are not able to do what they want to do for the patient, because they say, oh, we are not covering this under the formulary, we don't cover that service. They actually spend a lot of time on denying the claims. For example, United has whole building, multi-story building dedicated to staff that are looking to a reason to deny this claim. So that energy goes into too much into that. That's one of the reasons why doctors are burning out too, because they are not able to do what they want to do for the patient. Right, Susie? Don't you think so?
And the doctors, I know a lot of the burnout is happening a lot because of financial across the United States.
Yeah.
But the doctor is supposed to be an example for his patients. Even he should be able to give testimonies through himself and also his family. If I'm a doctor and I'm really helping myself and my family and my clients, I have tons. If I've been a medical doctor for 20 years, I got tons of testimonies of people who have overcame different things through me, through my wisdom and through my knowledge of medical experience. And that's the magic is a lot of doctors, like you said, they're burning down because they're not healthy.
Yeah.
They have to lead by, and you see, wellness is in the 21st century, lifestyle as your medicine.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle as your medicine. I mean, that's everything. The way you think, what you eat, what you drink, your deodorant, your air, your water, the people you're around. All that is part of, could be part of your sickness, of why a person is sick.
Yeah, yeah. The lifestyle is very important because the so-called lifestyle that is promoting synthetic joys is there because people don't know anything better. If they only discover in true health, good health, in their true inner self, there's a lot of joy and happiness, then people won't go for the synthetic joys, which is the case with me because I don't go for the external things that much because I'm happy and I'm really by myself alone and really reflecting on things and going inside of myself. That's what I tell other people. Go find out yourself by yourself within yourself. And that itself is a joyous and happiness thing. That is from the ancient wisdom. They talked about it quite a bit. Unfortunately, people did not take it up, But for the people who are taking it up now are the scientists of consciousness. They're coming close to the ancient findings and they are coming in a scientific form where there's this one term called hard problem of consciousness. Body and mind is there. What is that animating that body and mind? And that is the consciousness. To solve that is the hard problem now. But they have come to that and they have panpsychism. There are so many variety of ways they're expressing it. Physics also expressing we are all one energy. Once we realize that, it becomes so much different how we lead our life too. You know.
Great room today. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, uh, Piccola. Is that am I saying correctly, Piccola? I don't know whether you can hear me or not. Anyway, this series of doctors getting burned out is going to be a long series, and I'm going to explore all aspects as I know it, and also invite people who can come and contribute to this discussion and really bring the awareness of what is going on in the field. Awareness for the doctors. There are so many things that they could do. They can really understand the new technology and make it an ally rather than making somebody villain that's making them burn out, and also understand the commodity made system and really try to extricate from that, and also take our health in our hands and our consciousness so that everybody is responsible. Like Chris was responsible for his health and he's helping other people to understand too. I think that kind of attitude really spreads like a fire. If one person has it, other people in the family can have it, and also other friends can have it. Like that, it can spread. So this is an attempt, a small attempt maybe, just to make other people aware of this burnout existence, the reasons for it, and also some ways we can overcome it. And also we want to listen to other physicians who have overcome this burnout and who are contributing to other physicians' health too. That's also would be wonderful. So I'm going to send some invitation to all the doctors so that I know and ask them to come and participate in this discussion so that they can also contribute what is going on from their perspective. So, Chris, bring people like you who are really health conscious, responsible, and changing the lifestyles. That kind of philosophy is mine too, because I run a room called Therapeutic Lifestyle Changes, where I talk about the lifestyles being the culprit for our chronic diseases, culprit for our addictions, so many things, right? So, once we understand that and change the lifestyles, it could be just like a changing to healthy diet or moving your body, walking a little bit, not sitting too long, or keeping your mind calm. So twice a day you can sit down and calm yourself without exposing yourself to any devices. Things like that. Or sleep well. I can teach you a lot of tricks about quality of sleep. How can you sleep better without taking any medication? I don't take any medications. I never took any sleeping pill. But because of the yoga, because of the background in medicine, I understand sleep better. And I'm sleeping better because I combine modern techniques and also ancient techniques. When you take the good and from both sides, it is good for us in the long run. So it's all knowledge after all. And then you not only learn it, you implement it, and then you come out with the feedback, what happened to you. Then we can tell you more about it, or we can investigate more into it if you don't know about it. That kind of thing is very important too. So
My grandmother, my mentor, my wellness mentor was my grandmother. My
mm,
grandmother, she lived to be 94 years old.
yeah,
She never took any pharmaceutical pills.
yeah,
She had 7 children, and she had a home based business for 70 years. She made quilts in the home. She would have the frame hanging from the ceiling when we
mm,
would go over there, and she would sew those quilts, and she would sell those quilts as fast as she made them.
yeah,
And she never went to any gym.
mm,
She didn't drink any alcohol. She didn't smoke.
yeah,
But she lived to be 94 years old with not any pharmaceutical drugs. I never bought any pills for her.
exactly,
And she
exactly.
was and she was my example.
I mean, there's a role for the medications. I'm not belittling that, but then we can make our lifestyle so good that we may need less or no medications. But sometimes the people come with illness, then you have to start them on the appropriate medications and then try to take them off if it is possible. Ashish, how are you?
I'm balancing a heavy workload with a personal life. Thank you.
Okay, Ashish is also a friend of mine, so I know him. I'm sure he has something to contribute as he finds more time there. Piccola, are you able to talk now? I could not hear you earlier. Maybe he wants to stay silent for now. That's fine. So anyway, the plan is this. I made a video on. I pinned it on the top. This is about how can we balance heavy workloads and personal life. Lots of times they are difficult. But for me, my approach is first have balance within where you are going, what you are doing, what you are about, and all that. And also what is happening in your life, in this four pillars I talked about. If the balance is within, then automatically the balance will be both in the family and here also. If the balance is not there within you, then you'll be the cause for the problems of the family, problems of the work too. So that's my approach. But then there are a series of things we expose here that you could see the video. And if you have any comments or something, you can always DM me or call me or talk to me, or when you come back to the room tomorrow, you can do that. Hi, Ashish.
Yeah, I love what you say about the balance within
Yeah,
to become a balance on the outside. And during Corona, like many people, I was completely overburdened,
yeah,
completely overworked. I'm balancing 2 jobs and taking care of my 2 kids in a
mm,
co-parenting situation, and um, I just overpushed it.
yeah,
And it's like a half year ago, I decided this is not the way I want to live.
mm,
I need to build in rest periods. I need to build in periods of reflection.
yeah,
I need to build in even micro breaks in the day. And I want to work my way. So right now, Dr. Rao, I have something that's very weird for a lot of people. I have a 36-hour shift,
yeah,
and I enjoy it.
mm,
So in my mind, I am happy, purposeful, working 36 hours because I work 36 hours. I will be free for 4.5 days,
yeah,
which gives me time to paint, time to hang out with my kids, to philander in the swimming pool or in the river.
yeah,
And this is my way. So
yeah,
balance within for me is working hard and playing hard.
yeah.
And that's
Very
what I have to contribute. And
good.
thereby I drop my mom.
Okay, very good. So Ashish's way of doing things, he said, I kind of add a little bit to that. What I change in that because whatever I do if I approach it like a service, that makes it much more meaningful for me and easy for me to do it rather than a profession or a means to earn a livelihood and all that, So when 3.5 days, that's a luxury we have these days. The hospitalist program I used to work also, they used to, uh, give 1 week on, 1 week off and all that. But then that 1 week on, they got so much juice out of us to recover, it took another week. But then if I had only changed my attitude about being service oriented, like trying to give something, I think that would have made a difference too. Nowadays it does. If I come to the room, if I remember that I want to service something here, contribute value or answer a question or learn something, or really provide a solution to somebody's question, that makes much more easy for me to be oriented in the service. There is what is called Sivagnana Jiva Seva. What it is we identify the divine in everybody, and then you are doing whatever you do as a service to the divinity. That is a little philosophical, spiritual thing, but I think that's a very good thing for me. When I do that, it becomes so much more devotional, so much more spiritual, and then not calculated, and it's a spirit of giving. Giving itself really gives us good health also in that way. Not that you do it but that expecting. When you truly give without any expectation, that has something within your system. This is established by now, monitoring molecular biological agents that we can monitor now. We can see happy hormones, like so that's very important to have that giving attitude. One thing I teach is in that spirit is I ask people to cultivate random act of kindness. That means you do something for somebody without them asking. Like I come to a room, I come and want to give some value, not to be recognized, not to be praised, or none of it, just because you think this is going to help them. And then if you give that spirit, and then if they accept it, fine. If they don't accept it, that's fine too. Your act of giving itself makes you much more healthy than otherwise. Okay, Shiva, hi, how are you? Jelena, how are you? Shiva, if you want to come up, please come up and contribute. I know Shiva is a mathematician, I think. I sometimes see him around the club. I was there with his room the other day. Anyway, that is the essence of this room. We're going to focus on the burnout of people, not just doctors, everybody else. But the doctors are focused because that's going to be a crisis pretty soon if we go at the rate that we are burning out doctors. That's my concern. Hopefully, it won't come through fruition. But then, if the doctors really understand where they are in the process of burning out, and if they have overcome that, they can share, or if they want some criteria, they can come. All these videos that I'm making altogether, like 70 videos, I have made 4 or 5 of them, but the text is there for all of them. They will be done, and they will be put all like in a course, and then people can aspire to go and see them too in the YouTube channel. And hopefully that will make a difference in anybody trying to work out their burnout. That's the spirit of this room, and hopefully you got something out of it. And Susie, are you there? Are you busy? Susie is a very busy person.
Yes, I just got a couple of mails I have to finish before officially in now one in 10 minutes. I have weekends because it's almost 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon here in Denmark.
Yeah, 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 yeah. What do you say about that balance within I talked about? I'm sure you have that.
Sorry, please repeat question. It's
I
on and
was
off connection.
I was saying about balancing work and our family life with balance within first, and then balance comes out into our work and personal life.
Well, I think the best balance is when you feel yourself. Yeah. In both domains. Mm. And if you don't feel like yourself in both domains, yeah, then you have a problem. Yeah. Personally, I have chosen to make my passion, my hobby, my work. Mm. So for me, 36 hours in a stretch, like I just told he's on a shift this week, it doesn't sound scary, but it has to be something that I feel connected to. It cannot be something I'm forced to do, because then the however strong chain that you have, it will break. Yeah. See, there's a saying I use in my end of the video to tell people what I do. It says, um, to have inner health, wealth, and happiness, and then to have um, wellness for a long time, and also enjoy, come and consult BFAP. So what does it mean is, it means inner joy, inner happiness, inner health and wealth is all inner perspective. Once you find that, outward things will be much, much more a flow from that inner ebb of wealth, whatever. That's what I really focus on, because the way we built up the modern society is about building things outside of us and then striving to get them and be happy. But the ancients did something very simple outward life, thereby our this one our planet is helpful too, to really causing problems because of the excessive consumption we involved in, and also making external life is more important to be happy. So that reversal was very apparent to me. And then once we discovered that inner joy, outward joys and pleasures didn't seem that much. So more going towards the inner joys, inner wealth, inner resilience. That's what I'm doing now these days. Okay. Um, so Dr. K is here. He's a friend of mine too. Hi, Dr. K. How are you?
Peace and love to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah.
To learn from you.
Yeah. So I'm just introducing this room for the burnout of doctors and nurses and pharmacists and other healthcare workers, and also other executives and company leaders. So we work with all of them. We produce all the material towards them. Hopefully, more people will be able to take advantage of this, and then really help us to spread this message. Hi, Shiva. How are you? I'm good, but your voice is very low, Siva. Maybe you are using earpods or something.
Some outside disturbance is there, that's
right. Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you a little better. Earlier it was very feeble, you know. So
it's very.
Yeah, now good.
Great.
So the disturbance.
We are doing job. We have to enjoy that. Otherwise, we have passion about that.
Shiva, I could not hear you because there was a weird noise coming up, some disturbance or something, you know. Uh, in between, you came a little bit and went out. The noise came all the time, you know. So maybe the atmosphere is not good there, or I don't know. Well, anyway, so that's what we're going to do in this room every day, morning 8 to 9. And hopefully, we will have more doctors coming in, and we will try to invite them and then make sure that everybody is contributing to and understand this. So this is going to be a wide spread awareness campaign. So we will be publishing a lot of advertisement about this room in other platforms too, so that they can understand that better. Okay.
All right, we will close for today and we'll be back again tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, same topic but different thing. There will be another video we will be posting. Today is about balancing heavy workloads and also personalized life. I did couple of videos before this for the workload specific, how to handle that and how to prioritize our tasks. Those are two videos for there. They are all available in my house chat room. You can look at that. So I'll be seeing you again. Thanks for joining me. Okay, Shiva. I think we will hope your mic will be fixed better next time, so I can hear you actually. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.